Wow, thank you very much. In this issue of campaign against abolishing death penalty, for me, specifically for me, it started a long time ago. Since my background, I'm a defense counsel and I enjoyed representing people who had criminal matters. My starting workplace was legal aid under the Ministry of Justice. That time it was called Ministry of Legal Affairs. And so I used to represent quite a number of people who had offenses which attracted capital punishment. I represented people, the system or the law enforcement agencies said very dangerous criminals. That's what they used to. For sure, at one time in 1987, when I was still working at Legal Aid, there was a group of suspects or accused who were involved in murders and aggravated robbery, and they used to kill MPs, members of parliament, because that time members of parliament had this privilege of being given money. They called it pre-auction. At one time we were auctioning the foreign exchange in this country. So they were being given, I still remember, it was $7,000 pre-auction. And Zambia at that time, the economy was not doing well. So the MPs used to go to buy vans in Botswana. And so when they come with those vans, these robbers would kill them and go and sell those vehicles in the neighboring country. So at one time, there were some people, I still remember the name of Joseph Chilanda and Christopher Oldfield. They were taken to be the most dangerous criminals, so they said, and the whole country, all the lawyers refused to represent them. I used to work for Legal Aid, and even at Legal Aid where I was working, I was a junior lawyer then. I'd just been at the bar for 1 year. But I took the task to represent them. And they were convicted, and then the matter went to the Supreme Court from High Court. By the time the matter was going to the Supreme Court to be heard, I had left Legal Aid. I went to another organization. But years later, I moved to the town where the maximum prison is housed. And I'm also a Christian. I preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so just out of my passion to preach the gospel, I was going to prison, to the prison where they were, and I met them. And so I started preaching the gospel. And some of them used to come to the service I used to hold in the prison. But again, few years later, Oldfield Christopher, together with three friends, they had fake documents that they had been pardoned whoever gave them, I don't know, whoever gave them those documents. And that was in 1997. So they were released, but later it was discovered. Just the same day it was discovered, after they were released, it was discovered that they had, that the pardon they had was fake. It was not true. So they looked for them, and they apprehended them and brought them back. Them, they were innocent. They didn't even know it was fake. And so they quickly, they were now lined up for execution. And so they were part of those who were last executed. 8 of them in 1997, they were executed, and those were the last ones. Now, coming to the death penalty, having been a defense counsel, I'm aware, honestly speaking, that there are quite a number of people who have had death sentence imposed on them, even when they were innocent. Some of them, it's on technicality that they found themselves sentenced to death, convicted and sentenced to death. Some of them convicted based on confession statements. Now, in our system, the confession statement must be tested by, if somebody said, I confessed because I was coerced, it's tested by having a trial within a trial. And most of these crimes, like aggravated robbery that used to attract the death sentence, and murder, and even treason. Some of the, if it's a group, they are in a group, some of them wouldn't even know that they are going to commit a crime. If it's aggravated robbery, some of them, even if they are in a group of 7, you find that one has just been picked by friends to say, escort us, we are going somewhere for some project. Some of them, especially taxi drivers, they are just hired by these people who have the mission to go and rob a bank, and then when they are apprehended, including the taxi driver, whether he explains that he was just hired, they will take it, he knew that they were, depending on how they put the fact. So you find many people would be convicted, and the explanation becomes not convincing before the court, and so they are convicted, even if they are innocent. The confessions, in most jurisdictions, maybe now, you find that confessions are not accepted. But in the past, we used, once there is a confession statement, even if you say it was obtained by force, the trial within a trial is held, the judge would still come and say you confessed voluntarily. There wasn't really any coercion, and on that account you are convicted and sentenced to death. So I want to say that majority of the matters, people who have been hanged before, some of them were innocent, and some matters you find that even when a person is convicted, later they discover the person who committed the crime, the real person who committed the crime comes later. But the court cannot revisit in some jurisdiction. There is nothing like the court revisiting the situation. The only thing is that an application or a petition is made to the president to exercise the prerogative of mercy and pardon those people. But sometimes maybe that pardon comes too late. By the time they are thinking of that, even if they discover that the person who was convicted was a wrong person, it's too late. That person has already been executed. I've interacted, even those who have been pardoned, I've interacted with a serial killer, even those who were on death row. Now, there's a lot, even those who are hesitant, who drag their feet to abolish death penalty, is because they really don't even know the procedure. I don't know the procedure for other countries, but for my country, the procedure is you are sentenced to death, but you don't know when you'll be executed. So you are on death row. It could be tomorrow. It could be, of course, minimum is 1 month. So you don't know, maybe it's next year, or after 20 years, or maybe after 30 years. You are every day, it's a day when you suspect maybe you'll be caught. Now, the warrants, death warrants, once you are convicted and confirmed, for us in Zambia, it was the High Court to convict and sentence you to death. You appeal the Supreme Court. Now we have the Court of Appeal, then Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court confirms the conviction and the sentence, then you are waiting as to when you'll be executed. The executioner just goes, there is no procedure of picking names. There is nothing like this one has been on death row for a long time. Let's now execute. You could have, your warrant could have been signed yesterday. Like the last people were executed. The execution was done very fast because they had tried to escape, some of them. 3 had tried to escape. And then they added 5 more. So it's traumatic. So 1 month, you are set aside. They will just come and call your name. The executioner will come and they call your name. Then you are separated from the rest. They call your name. And then there is a prison warder who is assigned to you to be consoling you and encouraging you unto death. And you'll be with that person for 1 month. You'll be asked what food you want to eat, what drink you want to drink, and most of them are so scared. So they rush to, even if they were not taking alcohol, they will rush to demand for alcohol. Some who say, I don't drink alcohol. Some for religious reasons, especially those who say they are Christians. Christians, Protestants, evangelical. They will say, I'm a Christian, I don't drink. But as the days are getting near, you find they have changed. On the day of execution, it's as early as 4 a.m. They are waken up and taken to the holding cell just near the gallows. And the doctor has to come to examine if you are fit. they don't execute people who are sick. So the doctor has to certify that you are fit. Not fit for work, but fit to die. And because you are healthy. And also there is a priest or a pastor who has been coming every month, every day in that period when you have been separated or set apart for execution, who will be encouraging you, praying with you, unless you say you don't want to prayers, but the priest will be there to pray with you even before you go to be hanged. The priest will, and then you'll be given the opportunity to stand the way it's the hanging place, the way it's prepared. You don't know, and you have never been there. You don't know. All what you see are the noose, the ropes hanging over your head, and there is this person who is standing there. Now, for Zambia, the hanging arrangement, it used to take 3 people at a go. 3 people at a go, but they will line you up there and they will ask you to say your last words. And you have only a few minutes to say that, but people will be speaking and foaming on the mouth because they are desperate. I mean, how do you speak when you're about to die? So you speak, if some will be shouting and saying it's unfair. They will still be telling you, I never committed the offense, it's unfair that I'm dying now. And others, of course, will say, yeah, I did it. The last guys who were executed in Zambia, one of them, he did say much. He just said, today I'm so grateful that today I'll be with Jesus in paradise. Yeah. So it depends on how ready they have been. And so after you have talked, or while you are still talking, they think you are wasting time. Then they will put a black hood, like a sack. They will put a black hood and then bring the rope on your neck. Now, the executioner is not just about pulling, but there are calculations. They do mathematical calculations. They look at your height. They look at your weight as well. And so the executioner has already calculated. And then they will tighten the rope. And then without you knowing that where you were standing on that thing that looked like a table, it actually opens. So there is a gear where, like this one, you pull it, and then the table will separate like this, and then the rope, you have to go down, and some take a little bit of time, hanging, even those who commit suicide. If it's in the house or outside, they have tied the rope on the tree. If it's in the house, they usually stand on a chair, and then they kick the chair, and that's how the rope tightens and they die of suffocation. So when they are down there, they drop down. There the doctor will come to examine whether they have died. Now, the sentencing, the judge sentencing, the pronunciation is, you'll be hanged I found you guilty, I sentence you to death, you'll be hanged by the neck until you are pronounced dead. And so the doctor will be a medical doctor, will go down. There are steps going down there to check on the body, examine, and there are forms the doctor will sign to pronounce you dead. So that's how traumatic that people are executed. In other jurisdictions, of course, maybe it's by firing squad. In other jurisdiction is by lethal injection. In other jurisdictions by electric chair. But whichever way, it's really not necessary. That should be left to God. It's wrong, yes, for those who commit those offenses. It's wrong to kill another person, but it's double wrong to kill that person who has killed a person. I mean, how do you lose two people? It's not the right thing to do, and people should be given the chance to be remorseful of what they have done. But if you are going to hang them or kill them by death penalty, they will have no opportunity to be remorseful. Just a few weeks ago, before coming here, I went to that same correctional facility. Now we call ourselves, in Zambia, we call it, it's no longer a prison, we call it correctional facility. The aim is to correct the behavior of those who have been convicted. And so there is a gentleman there, a serial killer. He killed a lot of people. He would go to their homes, familiarize with them, pretends he is looking for work, and they employ him. Usually it was in the farms. They employ him, and he becomes part of them. Maybe after a month or two, then you kill them. You take one, you escort, maybe they are going to the field or in the bush to pick firewood, and then you kill them. And you come back home and you pick another one, and he goes and kills. And so I met him, and we had a chat, and he was saying he was very remorseful. He can't do what he did. He given a chance to go out. His death sentence was commuted to life, but he's very remorseful. Mr. Chilala is called Chilala, that's his name. He says he's so sorry for what he did. He regrets. So if you had killed him, would you have the opportunity to hear that he's sorry, that he's remorseful to what he did? And so there's life imprisonment. It's also punishment. You know, the people who are sentenced to death, and if you send them to prison, if there's specific years you give, it's also punishment. So we should not be thinking that people who commit these capital offenses, if they are not executed, then they have not been punished. No, being in a prison is it's punishment. It's too much punishment. I mean, why do we protest when people want to restrict our movements? We protest even if we have not been imprisoned. Even as I am now, if you tell me today you are not going to go anywhere, you remain in this room, I'll protest. So why do we want to think that people who are imprisoned for 20 years for life, they have not adequately been punished unless they are killed. No, that is not good thinking. In fact, even if you kill them, you know that there are people who have done things wrong. They have committed suicide because it's the shortest way to run away from punishment. And even when they commit suicide, they are trying to avoid punishment. They are saying, I don't want to go to prison. I would rather kill myself now. So, prison sentence, being in prison for whatever number of years, it's more punishment actually than killing somebody. Because when you kill them, even when we are sick, and they are giving you medicines, you reach a stage, sometimes there are people who have reached a stage that stop giving you medicine, I would rather die. The pain is too much. I have cancer, the pain is too much. I would rather die. I lost my wife through cancer, and when I was lamenting, and my wife's relatives told me, look, your wife was in pain. It's better she's resting. She went away from pain. So, death sentence does not really answer what we imagine answer. Because we want to imagine, because it's death sentence, they will feel it more. No. Once they are dead, the punishment has ended. But would-be offenders would rather fear to have a long sentence than death. For us in Zambia, when we abolished death sentencing, we used to have more crimes from political players killing each other because of death sentence, because of politics. But the past months, almost a year now, no single person has been killed because of political arrangements. Nothing. We are more peaceful. People are not carrying guns going to do politics anymore because there's no need. So that is my little experience I've had in these issues.
And in the process of, so you had last year, President Chilima announced in June, I believe, that he will be moving towards the country towards abolition. He will be asking the parliament. At that time, did he consult you? Did he? How was the process of?
Well, the president. You must also know that our president had at one time been arraigned for treason. That he had committed treason when he didn't. But it was still, he was under threat that he would have been sentenced to death also. So he made a public statement that the offense of whatever capital punishment should not be death sentence, that we need to work towards that. No, he didn't consult me. He's the head of state. He made a statement. It's a policy statement that his government will not encourage death sentence. And also, because he had been in prison for 127 days, he had the resources. Even when he was in prison, before he was released, he had instructed his people to help in the prison because he knew the state of prisons. And I was one of the lawyers that visited him in prison where he was, and I still remember him having said he thanked God that he had been in 2 prisons, one in Osaka and the one where they hang people. And he was thanking God for being taken in those prisons because he had seen the conditions. Mm-hmm. And definitely he was going to change. If God was to allow him to be president, he would change the way prisons look and how those people are treated. And for sure, true to his word, when he became president, the first thing he did was to make sure that prisoners had mattresses, because they never used to sleep on mattresses. You had to be a captain in the prison for you to sleep on the mattress. So all prisoners, they sleep on mattresses. And they used to give 1 blanket per each prisoner. Now they have two blankets. And just a week before we came here, I had visited. All prisoners now sleep on beds. They are bunker beds. They sleep on beds, all of them. And the prison, which had not been painted for years, I found they had painted. I even went in the cell where the president used to be. The conditions were terrible. For the toilet, they used to use a bucket. But now it's self-contained. There's a good toilet. There's a shower. So the conditions changed when he became president, and that's why he made the statement that God had sent him there to learn and change things. So he made a statement that death sentence or death penalty shall be abolished. And so we picked it up as Minister of Justice, looked at it, and we saw that we needed to look at the penal code, our penal piece of registration, and the criminal procedure code. That's chapter 87 and chapter 88 of the laws of Zambia. We saw that we just needed to change these 2 pieces of registration because the constitution under us, we call the paragraphs and we call them articles. Because the constitution under Article 12, it talks of no person shall be deprived of his right to life unless under the order of the court, as provided for by the laws of the country. Now, the laws of the country that provide for death sentence is the penal code, and the criminal procedure code is what gives you the procedures for those sentences. So we looked at that and we moved as Minister of Justice together with the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Now, politically, of course, the politicians were talking about death sentence is provided for in the Constitution. So how do you rush to the criminal procedure code and the penal code? You must touch the Constitution. So I went, the Parliament, the Committee of Legal, the Committee on Legal and Constitutional Issues in Parliament, they asked me to go and clarify. I appeared before and I explained that there was no need to touch the Constitution. The constitutional provision could not stand on its own. It stood on the legs of those 2 two pieces of legislation, the Criminal Procedure Code and the Penal Code, that once you took out death sentence from those, then you will not have to amend the Constitution. So we did that, and then the Constitution provision is put on ice. It's declared redundant. And also we had the Defense Act. Our Defense and Security Act provides for people, soldiers, or those in the military who commit offenses. There are certain offenses which attract death sentences. So that we have also pushed it. The cabinet approved the repeal of that or expunging of that provision. It went before cabinet approved, and Parliament also approved that we must remove it from that. I think the president is about to assent, or he has already assented. Maybe I haven't just taken the, but that everything has already been done, so there will be nothing on our statute books to do with death sentence. So when I explained it to those parliamentarians, they understood it very well, and that's why when they went to the main house in Parliament, the committee, that special committee that looks at internal constitutional issues and legal issues, convinced their friends, and unanimously our Parliament passed the bill to abolish. And so that is what we want to encourage. The Malawian Constitution and our Constitution, it's the same. That provision in the Constitution, it's the same. Them it's in section 16, ours is article 12, same. And that's what we are here to encourage Malawi to follow, or to come with us in this sumptuous journey of celebrations of the abolishment of death penalty.
Okay, so you are here in Malawi to spread the legacy for life rather than for death. It's a historic legacy.
Yes. Life should be preserved. We don't need to kill people. We don't. Life is sacred. We shouldn't. And so far, Malawans are proving to be good. I think they are joining us, and that VECO would have loved Malawi to be the first. Would have loved Malawi to go ahead of us, but they'll catch up with us, and I can see that they will actually even overtake us. They might not even have any penalties for any offense.
Yeah. Thank you so much.